Welcome back. I'm Holly Menino. Let's dive right into the deep end. 51,000 teens and young adults from 50 states have now signed up for free digital library cards offered by a coalition of libraries, and that includes the Seattle Public Library System. Steve is down in the ARC Lounge right now with Elisa Murray from the Seattle Public Library System to learn more about this Books Unbanned initiative. Steve?
Yes, Elisa, nice to have you here this morning. Give us kind of the backstory here about how this program and this initiative came about. What prompted this and what led to its creation?
Yeah, so Books Unbanned was started in 2022 by Brooklyn Public Library, actually. And they were noticing, excuse me, American Library Association reports on attempts to challenge or ban books. And they had reported on a really dramatic increase starting in about 2021. So Brooklyn wanted to counter this by offering a free digital library card to young people around the country. And it was a really pioneering initiative, and they got a really big response pretty quickly, both from the media and from people signing up. And we decided to sign on, Seattle Public Library, in 2023, so in April 2023,
okay.
We started offering a free library card just for ebooks to young people ages 13 to 26 around the country, so outside of our service area. And one important point is that this is not taxpayer funded. It's funded by the Seattle Public Library Foundation,
okay.
Because we didn't want to affect our local patrons' access to our collections. And we weren't quite sure what to expect, but we really wanted to kind of stand up for the freedom to read and do what public libraries do, which is share our resources. We have a really wonderful digital collection, almost 1 million books, and we wanted to make that available. And young people are most impacted by some of these censorship attempts, so we thought it was really important to share those resources with young people.
And Brooklyn saw a strong response, I assume, when they initially launched this. What did you guys see when you launched it here in Seattle?
Yeah, we weren't quite sure what to expect, but it was pretty amazing. Within about 2 weeks, we had 1,500 young people sign up.
Wow.
And, we had included in the form where you sign up a comment, just why are you signing up? And we weren't sure what to expect with that. And we received kind of an outpouring of stories of why people really appreciated this kind of access. And also, this is access to our entire collection of ebooks, so it's not just banned books.
Yeah.
It's anything that people want to read, because that's what we believe, is that people should read what they want to read and get that kind of access to explore ideas and expand their worlds.
So give me an example of sort of how this works. So let's say somebody's in Iowa and they know that Seattle Public Library System has an ebook that maybe they can't get within their local library system in Iowa. They can get one of these cards and be able to check out that ebook from Seattle, technically, and have access to it from their state.
Yep, exactly. Okay. So what they do is they go to spl.org/booksunbanned, and there's a form, and then they just fill out some information, and then within a few days, they will get access just to our ebook collection, so not physical books and not databases.
Okay.
And so then they can check out books with a lower kind of limit, but they can check books out just as SPL patrons would do. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you're an ebook reader yourself, but there's an app called Libby that you can use. So they can use that, or they can just do it through our catalog, and they can place holds, and then they can read ebooks on their phone or read them on a Kindle, or however they like to access their ebooks.
It sounds so easy.
Yeah, it is easy. And that's the whole point, is it's really accessible. And that's kind of a wonderful thing about ebooks is what's interesting is we hear from a lot of young people who are impacted by censorship, or just, not a large kind of ebook collection on their via their public libraries, but also some people might have transportation issues and not be able to get to their libraries.
Yeah.
In some cases, there is no local public library, or they might have vision impairment problems. So there's a whole range of reasons why young people are accessing and really, really appreciating having access to these ebooks.
Are there examples of maybe works that Seattle has access to that maybe aren't available in other areas, or what's kind of the general subject matter that tends to see maybe more of a censorship than others that you guys have seen?
Yeah, well, what we're seeing is that young people are accessing a huge range of titles. So we did a study with Brooklyn Public Library, kind of analyzing some of the comments we had received. By that point, this was in 2024, we'd received 10,000 comments from young people.
Wow.
And then we looked at checkout trends, and they were accessing, I think, 74,000 unique titles. So really a huge range, anything from cookbooks to military history. I think there is a trend in some cases to access, books about experiences of young people of color or LGBTQ people that might have more censorship attempts. But it's really a huge range of exploring different things that they might be interested in. So that's also been really interesting. Again, it's, they do get access probably to a lot of titles that might not be on shelves or might be censored in some way, but we have a really, really robust collection. We're very lucky in Seattle with almost 1 million ebooks.
That's just mind-blowing to me to think of that number.
Yeah.
It's huge. Have you guys gotten any pushback at all, or has the feedback from this overwhelmingly been positive because it's fulfilling a need that is really out there across the country?
Yeah, so locally, again, we weren't quite sure what to expect, and we wanted to be really clear with our patrons that this wasn't going to impact their access. But we received overwhelmingly positive responses, both from our patrons and the community at large. So this program is funded by donors of the Seattle Public Library Foundation. Yeah. And so I think Seattle, which is a city of literature, can be proud that we're really making a difference. And those are the comments that we've received. I think, outside of Seattle or maybe in some communities where they are limiting access, there probably have been more negative responses. Yeah. We're not as kind of privy to those, but on a local level, it's been very, very positive.
So people that are watching at home, they want to be part of this. Is there a way that they can either support the expansion of this effort or keep it going? How can they do that?
Yeah, so if they just want to kind of check out the program, or maybe they have relatives or family members or friends in other areas that might want a card, they can go to spl.org/Books Unbanned to find out more and share the form. Or if they're outside of Seattle and they're between those ages of 13 to 26, they can sign up. And then if you want to support the program, you can go to the Seattle Public Library Foundation website and make a donation, and it's support.spl.org. And so, we just welcome just all kinds of responses or your feedback. Yeah. And I think you can all just exercise your own freedom to read, which we do in Seattle.
Yes. Yeah.
And read what you want and share that with other people. I think, there's a lot of concerns about the decline of youth literacy, especially since the pandemic. And this is such an encouraging sign. Yeah. And, just these comments that we receive where these young people are so grateful that they get to explore books and read what they want and find new titles and share them with friends has been really, really heartening, for us and for staff, too. It's really, really inspiring. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it really is. Thank you for letting us know about this. And it really is kind of putting Seattle on the map, which is a really cool thing. And yes, more access to more books out there, which I think is a great thing, Holly.
Absolutely. We want to see more readers out there.
That's right.
Definitely improve literacy rates. Wonderful. Yeah. Thank you so much.
You bet.
The White House's website features a timer counting up the days since the government shut down with the caption